In the Cerrejón region of Colombia, a team of scientists and paleontologists was digging deep inside a coal mine. This mine was actually formed from a rainforest that existed about 60 million years ago. That's why they were searching for the remains of ancient plants and animals. This place was like a hidden window into a mysterious past, one that the Earth had buried within its layers. During the excavation, the experts discovered something unusual deep inside the rocks. When they cleared away the dirt, it turned out to be a bone. Some thought it belonged to a crocodile. Others guessed it was from a turtle. A few even believed it was part of an ancient tree trunk. But this single bone would eventually take science into a world where the largest snake ever known once ruled, Titanoboa. This was no ordinary snake. It was nearly 10 times heavier than today's green Anaconda and longer than a passenger bus. It was so massive that if it tried to crawl on land, it could have been crushed under its own weight. So where did it live? That one bone led experts back to an ancient version of the Amazon, a world completely different from today. But what made Titanoboa so gigantic? How did it hunt? And what caused the fall of this king of the rainforest? Welcome back to Noble's Creation. The discovery of Titanoboa wasn't sudden. It began in 1994 when a local geologist, Henry Garcia, noticed something unusual in the Cerrejón mine. It looked like a piece of a tree branch. At the time, no one paid much attention and it was stored away. Almost a decade later, in 2002, another geologist, Fabiani Herrera, found a similar fossil. Their main goal was to study ancient plant life to understand what the first tropical rainforests looked like. The real turning point came in 2007 when these fossils were sent to the Florida Museum of Natural History. Scientists discovered that it wasn't a tree or a crocodile bone. When they compared it with the vertebrae of modern snakes like anacondas and pythons, they were stunned. This bone was 3 times larger and thicker than an anaconda's vertebra. At that moment, experts confirmed it belonged to a snake. Using mathematical models, scientists estimated the snake's total length based on the size of its vertebrae. The result? Titanoboa measured between 42 to 50 feet long. Not only was it longer than modern snakes, but it was also incredibly thick, about the size of a man's waist, and weighed around 1.2 tons, over 2,600 pounds. This discovery shocked the world. But the real question wasn't just how big it was why it was so big. The answer lies in the climate. Snakes are cold-blooded animals, meaning they depend on external temperatures to regulate their body heat. The warmer the environment, the faster their metabolism. A faster metabolism means more energy, faster growth, and the ability to support a larger body. Titanoboa itself became proof that 60 million years ago, Earth's climate was much hotter than today. The average temperature in that region stayed above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 32 degrees Celsius, year-round. It was a dense, humid rainforest that never cooled down. These extreme conditions allowed Titanoboa to grow to such an enormous size. In fact, today's Amazon rainforest might actually be too cold for it to survive. Now, with such a massive body, how did Titanoboa hunt? It didn't chase prey on land like in Hollywood movies. It was too heavy for that. Moving on land would create too much friction, making it slow and inefficient. Instead, Titanoboa was an aquatic ambush predator, much like modern crocodiles. It spent most of its time in swamps and rivers, where water supported its massive weight. Only its eyes and nostrils would remain above the surface. It would lie in wait, sometimes for hours or even days, perfectly camouflaged. The moment an animal came near the water to drink, Titanoboa would strike with lightning speed. Scientists estimate it could exert over 400 psi of pressure when constricting its prey, enough to crush bones instantly and stop blood circulation. Its victims didn't stand a chance. So what did it eat? Titanoboa fed on giant turtles and ancient crocodilians. Some turtles from that era were over 8 feet long, about the size of a dining table. Its jaws could stretch wide enough to swallow prey much larger than its head, just like modern snakes. For years, scientists only had vertebrate fossils, but in 2011, a major breakthrough came when a skull of Titanoboa was discovered. This confirmed that its jaw structure was similar to modern snakes and could dislocate to swallow massive prey. It also had heat-sensing organs, allowing it to detect warm-blooded animals even in complete darkness. Water wasn't just for hunting, it was essential for survival. Without it, Titanoboa's enormous body could collapse under its own weight. Its life was a perfect balance. Heat gave it power, and water supported its body. But if it was so powerful, what led to its extinction? The answer is simple: climate change. After the Paleocene epoch, Earth's temperature began to drop. Even a small decrease in temperature had a massive impact on cold-blooded animals like Titanoboa. Its metabolism slowed down. It became weaker, slower, and less effective at hunting. At the same time, the ecosystem changed. Swamps began to dry up, and new mammals started to appear, competing for food. Gradually, Titanoboa lost everything it needed to survive: heat, habitat, and prey. And just like that, the largest snake in Earth's history became extinct. Sometimes, all it takes is a few degrees of temperature change to erase even the most powerful creatures from existence.